Hey guys, it's JJ. Welcome to College Football 26. We're so excited and let's get to it. We are starting a new dynasty here with the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns, and our coach is going to be Lindell Thierry, a former wide receiver of the Detroit Lions from my Lions franchise. 6'5", 94 speed, was an absolute beast. And we are going to be going over some house rules just to keep the dynasty a little bit more challenging and realistic. First of all, slower coaching speed just to make it a little bit more of a grind, not to level up too quickly. No manual progression, so we're not doing the cheese that Bordeaux did with his Ball State dynasty, or test dynasty, I guess. So either we're gonna keep it automatic or I'm gonna randomize progression, but we'll still think about that. And then we're gonna be playing on Heisman with Met 10 sliders like every year. Roster retention, in my opinion, was a little bit overdone from what I've seen so far. So we will, we will use all 30 max players can transfer. We'll use the max if 30 players really want to transfer. They should be able to, but I'm gonna turn down the slider to about 30 or 40 maybe, just to keep it a little bit down. I don't want anybody transferring just because it's a C+ and not a B- or something. It's a little bit too extreme in my opinion, but yeah. And the other part of roster retention is also going to be drafted players, or players declaring early for the draft. If anybody declares early and is projected to go rounds 1, 2, and 3, they will go. Will not persuade them. Running backs, if any running back declares early, we'll let them go. Everybody else we can persuade. And then we will use coordinators' playbooks. I will not use a custom playbook anymore, so we'll just roll with whatever our coordinators have. For scouting, I will only fully scout players that are from Tier 5 and Tier 4 pipelines, which in this case is only Louisiana. All the other pipelines are lower levels. So we will only hit the scout button once on every other player just to get a little bit of an idea. Because you can't know every single player's ratings before you even get them to the college. That's not realistic. We're also gonna be only recruit players that are from our star level, and right now we are a 1-star program, so we can only pursue 1-stars. Players that are in-state, which means we can recruit all players from Louisiana, and players that are interested in us. So we can use those 3 rules to make it a little bit more interesting. And then we're going to be using the placement, accuracy for the quarterbacks, and also with audibling, I don't want to abuse it, which means we will use QB awareness as a measure of how to audible. Now this is our quarterback room right now. Our starter is Walker Howard at the moment. He has 80 awareness, by the way, so that means he is in the medium tier, which means I will be able to audible with him, flip plays, but no using hot routes. That's just a little bit too cheesy. For the running backs, Zylan Perry is our starter at the moment. He is the better runner in my opinion. But Davis is also going to see the field as well. This looks actually like a decent running back room compared to the rest of the roster. 80 overalls are far in between on this team. So to even have 282 overall running backs is pretty crazy to me. So Perry is the elusive back and Davis is the power back. That's what's it going to be. And Perry's also going to be the receiving back on this team. We're going to be using a fullback. Nothing spectacular about that. He's a sophomore right now. I'm fine with it. And for the wide receivers, we actually have a few decent receiving options. None of them are in the 80s, unfortunately. So we are going to use Robert Williams. He's the number 1 receiver. In 3 or 4 receiver sets, he will move to the slot because he does not have great press. But he's a decent receiver with solid catching ratings and 90 speed. Shelton Sampson, he is an outside threat, 6'4", 195 with 91 speed, decent catching ratings. Robertson is also, if I remember this correctly, is also going to be playing from the slot sometimes at least. He only has 85 speed, not too fast here. And then Jaden Johnson only 82 speed, but I mean, this is what the roster has. There is no other faster receivers here on the team. Everybody's in the 80s here except the top two guys. So the receiving game will be a little bit tough, I think, in the first year, but we'll do our best. And then for tight end, we have this 76 overall that is pretty slow. Can catch the football a little bit, Caden Jensen. And by the way, as you can already see, I have not redshirted anybody, and that is also going to be a house rule. No redshirting. If they are not used in the season, they will get redshirted automatically at the end of the year. And everybody that's being used during the season is not going to get the redshirt. That was a little bit too easy to get the 5th year in the last in my other dynasty, so no more doing that. The offensive line, actually, I mean, it's kind of on the same level as the rest of the team, but it does not look awful, at least. There's an 80 overall left guard. We've got a 77 overall center. This is our best player on the team, Jax Harrington. Maybe even get drafted. Who knows? At 85, it's a true 85 overall. Maybe he gets drafted at the end of the year. That would be huge for our pro potential. And then the right tackle spot is a weakness, so I mean, that's not great. But yeah, that's how the offense looks. So we do have a couple good running backs. We have a solid quarterback. We do have a decent O-line. The receiving room doesn't look great. Now, for the defensive line, we do have a really good edge rusher here in Jordan Lawson. He is going to be the top guy. He's going to play as many downs as he can handle. On the other side, Fitzgerald West is by far our second best option. So both of those guys going to be getting starts in base and nickel. So there is no discussion about that. Our defensive tackle group is very small and looks very weak. Really weak. This is not great. So we need to invest early and heavy into defensive tackles because as you can also see, 2 of those guys are seniors and the other one is a true freshman. So that looks absolutely awful. And then for Sam, we've got Cameron Whitfield. He's the big guy, 6'3", 241, a real good run stopper. We've got Cabody. He will start in base personnel because he's the senior over Edwards. And yeah, but the Jaden Duggar will get the preferable treatment in nickel personnel over the middle linebackers. And then at corner, this is actually one of the bigger weaknesses on the team, in my opinion, next to the defensive tackle group. This looks pretty awful. We do not have a single corner on the team that has 90 speed, and 90 would not even be fast. Now, we do have a really good safety here in Tyree Skipper, but again, no DBs on the entire team that have 90 speed, so we are going to have our work cut out for us. This secondary looks really bad. And yeah, we're going to have to recruit really well if we're going to replace all these players. And apart from that one good safety, the rest of the group looks like a real weakness. And yeah, for kickers, we have a senior and a junior. I don't know what that is all about, but Logan Klotz is going to be the starter. 86 kick power. I mean, there's no discussion about that. And then for punters, we have a senior here as well, Nathan Torney. So in our first year, we will be recruiting a kicker and a punter as well. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell for more for notifications whenever I drop a new Dynasty upload. And then we're gonna talk quickly about the scheme. So as I already said, we're gonna use coordinators playbooks. I'm assuming these playbooks are from the coordinators, so we're gonna use them. And in case we fire anybody or get a new coordinator because somebody gets hired away, we will have to use their playbooks. Now, the coordinators do not actually have playbooks. They have schemes. So we will either use the defaults, like in this case, for example, if I get a new coordinator that has the offensive playbook spread, then I will use any spread playbook that is available to me, whichever I like the most. And then for defense, the exact same thing. But yeah, that's basically all we're doing here with the coordinators. And then, like in my CFB25 dynasties, I did a complete realignment of all conferences. And we're gonna start off with the ACC North. We've got all 5 Virginia teams. We got Maryland and North Carolina and Duke. And in the ACC South, it's all the rest from the North Carolina teams and the 3 South Carolina colleges. So this is now a balanced group. I moved Maryland to this group because Delaware is new in the game, and I moved them to the Conference USA as compared to what I did last year, if you're wondering. So now both of these conferences are balanced. Sadly, that's gonna split Maryland in half, but these are to make it geographically make sense. American has not changed at all, so it's still all the Indiana teams, the Kentucky, Tennessee, and West Virginia teams split into North and South. For the Big 12, it's 13 Texas teams and 3 Oklahoma teams split into Coast and Plains. The Coast ones are, closer to the coast, very obviously, and the Plains are further inside. So for the Plains, for example, we've got the 3 Oklahoma teams. We've got UTEP and Texas and North Texas, all the teams that are a little bit further inland, and everybody else is in the coastal division. And yeah, that's the Big 12 for you. 16 teams actually, and that's already what they also use in my Laredo State Dynasty. I really like the setup. It's been playing really well with these kind of just putting them into geographic regions, and like in every conference there is a couple of really good teams, and usually they win the conference, so the playoff actually looks really good. For the Big Ten, we have a Southeast that is 7 Ohio teams, and then in the Northwest we have the 8th Ohio team, which is Toledo, and 5 Michigan teams. And for the first time, I'm also going to be putting Notre Dame there, and that is because last year I had Wisconsin in there as well, but I have moved Wisconsin to a different conference, so I wanted to put Notre Dame in there, which also means now that Indiana, the state of Indiana, is now split as well, just like Maryland. Conference USA, this is the Northeast division, so in the North it's 3 New York teams, 2 Massachusetts teams, and UConn. In the South, it's the 3 Pennsylvania teams. It's Navy from Maryland, Rutgers from New Jersey, and Delaware. And that's what I was debating, putting Delaware in the ACC and Maryland here, or Maryland in the ACC and Delaware here. I decided to put Maryland in the ACC and Delaware here in the really Northeast divisions. Now, we do not have any independents anymore. Last year, I always had Notre Dame, but to make the conferences even, this time around I did split it, and one of the reasons is actually the MAC, because compared to last year, the MAC got one more team. The MAC is, to me, all the actual middle American teams. So here in the Great Lakes division, it's going to be the 2 Iowa teams, the 3 Illinois teams, Wisconsin and Minnesota. So we've got the kind of northern part of middle America. And then in the Plains division, we have the 2 Missouri teams, we've got the 2 Kansas teams, the 2 Arkansas teams, and Nebraska. And with Missouri State being added here, I decided to also add Wisconsin to make the conference even again, and therefore I moved Notre Dame to the Big Ten as compared to last year. From the Mountain West, we've got all the actual Mountain West teams. So in the deserts region, it's going to be the 2 Arizonas, the 2 Nevadas, 2 of the Utahs, and Idaho, so Boise State. And in the plains, we've got 3 Colorados, 2 New Mexicos, 1 Utah, and 1 Wyoming. And then in the Pac-12, it's all the actual Pacific teams. So In the North, in the Cascadia division, we have the 2 Washington teams, the 2 Oregon teams, Stanford and Cal. And in the Southern Coast division, we've got the other 5 California teams plus Hawaii. Just to make that make sense as well. I realized that this conference in particular is a little bit uneven with a lot of the good teams being in the North, but I still will go with it. For the SEC, we've got all the Florida and all the Georgia teams. I kind of split them up a little bit weird because it's 7 Florida teams and 5 Georgia teams, so no matter how I split it, it's not going to make even divisions, but the West is basically more the Georgia teams plus USF and Florida State, and then yeah, all the other 5 Florida teams, and I think it's Georgia Southern are in the East. Sun Belt. This is the conference we are actually in, and the Sun Belt, just like I did in my last dynasty, so in CFB25. The Sun Belt will be consisting of all the teams from Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. The West is all the Louisiana teams, the East is all the Alabama teams, and then I put Ole Miss and Mississippi State in the West, and Southern Miss in the East, just to make the conferences or the divisions a little bit more even, so that we have a couple more good teams here. So we will actually be facing really good teams. And this year I started off the schedule with randomizing the teams we're playing, and for some reason Missouri State actually was the first team I randomized here. So this is going to be our home opener, and then we're going to be playing Utah, which is a game I'm expecting us to lose. And then it's going to continue into the conference schedule. Auburn and Ole Miss, this is going to be really tough. And then Jack State. And then our first rivalry game against Louisiana Tech, then Troy, and then LSU. So this is going to be a real gauntlet. And then we're going to be playing one more out-of-conference game. I randomized again, and it was Kent State. And then Mississippi State is going to be really tough. Tulane. And then for the final game of the season, it's going to be another rivalry game. We only have 2 rivalries in this game, so it is only going to be Louisiana Tech and UL Monroe. But we're going to try to make the best of it. And then the Sun Belt Championship is going to be in the Caesars Dome. So I am really excited about the schedule. And yeah, just a couple more things I want to talk about. So the first one I was really short on is the actual coach we have here. Lindell Thierry is a 6'5" receiver with 94 speed, or was in my Lions dynasty. He was absolutely awesome. I did not do a long-term sim, but he was incredible, and I'm sure he would have been a Hall of Famer. Now, since he's from Auburn, I thought this would be a good opportunity to use him in like a kind of Southern States dynasty as the coach, and therefore like cement his legacy on this channel. And we're gonna try to run an offensive team here. This is gonna be an aggressive offense, and we're gonna try to play bend not break defense. And that's what I wanted to say about the coach. And then the other thing that I just briefly mentioned, it was really confusing probably, but the audibles. So what I will do, because QB awareness, if you're playing yourself, which I will be, QB awareness rating doesn't matter at all into the game, while for the CPU it does, which is not fair. Now, if my quarterback that I have on the field has between 0 and 69 awareness, I am not allowed to audible anything. If he has between 70 and 79 awareness, I am allowed to adapt pass protection and audible running back. And then if I have between 80 and 89, we're gonna audible plays and flip plays. And if he has more than 90 awareness, we're also going to be allowed to use hot rods, but I only want to use that for the absolute best quarterbacks, and just to make that like play out in the game. And that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more Louisiana Dynasty. See you in the next episode. Until then, have a great day.